Hello, welcome to the Voice of Bold Business Radio. I'm your host, Jess Duell. Today's program is about the Colorado Women's Education Foundation. And the Colorado Women's Education Foundation focuses on women who are continuing their education. And these are non-traditionally aged students, 25 and older, that are experiencing and actively involved in their community, going after leadership opportunities and looking for ways to better their life. Since its inception, CWEF has provided 550 scholarships totaling more than $450,000 to women to further their advanced education. Karen McGee is president of the Colorado Women's Education Foundation. This organization has one constant over the years. That is to be an organization of women reaching out to other women to elevate their lives through the gift of education. Rita Erickson is also joining us. She is also a past recipient of a scholarship awarded by the Colorado Women's Education Foundation. You will get to meet them both right after this.
Welcome to the Voice of Bold Business, the show that provides everything smart leaders need to evaluate situations, build relationships, and create solutions. And now, here's Jessica.
And joining us right now, Karen and Rita, welcome to the Voice of Bold Business Radio. I'd like to know what your experience is, Karen, specifically related to the outcomes of women who have received scholarships from CWEF.
We know that the scholarships that CWEF provides makes a difference in the lives of our scholarship recipients. One of our past scholarship recipients reported that she was able to double her income with the addition of a master's degree. We also know that many of the women who have had scholarships from CWEF have overcome incredible challenges. In completing their educations, they have lifted themselves and their families on this socioeconomic ladder that makes a difference. We also know that with higher education, even just some college, that the earning power of the individual with any college at all or any post-secondary education is improved. So we know it makes a difference in both the lives of the scholarship recipients, the lives of their family members, and also society at large, because educated individuals volunteer more, they attend to their health, have better health, lower levels of obesity, they do more civic involvement, so they earn more, they pay more taxes, and so it benefits everyone.
Even though enrollment rates into college continue to rise, there's a discrepancy in terms of income. Families that have a higher income have a higher enrollment in college. Families with lower incomes have less enrollment into college.
Even a little bit makes a difference. And of course, many women are cobbling together the finances to make it work. Rita, what's your experience been?
The first few years of school, I worked 2 jobs. I worked 7 days a week and went to school on the part-time job days. And in the time, it was pretty intense, but looking back, it just seems like it was a million years ago.
I'd like to know, is there a time where the piecing things together was harder? And what was the outcome of that?
I know. So one of those 2 jobs that I was working was at a grocery store. I just remember looking around and everyone I worked with was really miserable and they were no longer willing to be flexible with school. And, I made the scary decision to leave that job. That was my full-time job, knowing that I have a child at home to support. It worked out. As long as you know you're doing the right thing and you believe that, that's something that's powerful to you, that will drive you all the way.
That generational change, it comes from breaking the mold. And Rita, it sounds like you're breaking the mold every single day.
As women, we really rely on our social networks and our interaction with people, and receiving a scholarship isn't just a financial support. It's also someone saying, hey, I believe in you. I know you can do this. I know you can pull through. And we really depend on that. And sometimes that's just the saving grace, knowing that not only are we financially able to do this, that other people believe in us. They know we're going to do it. So that emotional support is there too. It's really important.
Did you get that from CWEF?
Yeah, and I actually, out of many of the scholarships I've received, CWEF has been extremely engaged. They're really passionate. They really reach out and connect with their recipients, which is a huge difference compared to other scholarships that I've received.
That's good to hear. And it's something that we care about and want to do. And we have heard from other scholarship recipients they're not receiving support from some of the people in their lives. Friends and family may not be as engaged with the outcome as the individual is. At least one of our scholarship recipients who said nobody cared about how she was doing in school, whether she was doing okay. Only CUF cared about how she was doing and was tracking her progress. And it was really important to her. We want to make a difference in more than financial ways. We want to support women so that they can succeed.
Can you think of a trait that really is a benefit that often maybe isn't said out loud is beneficial, but you know is beneficial based off of the makeup of one, the candidates, and you, your individual self in the workplace?
Well, I think persistence and resilience are two maybe overlooked traits that make a huge difference for women pursuing their educations.
Probably the ones that translate most in my workplace are the desire to learn, like you said, just wanting to learn more and understanding more instead of just going with the flow on things, always pushing. What else can I learn from this? For myself personally, and I see this as a good benefit to my team, I'm empathetic and I try to understand where other people are coming from, and I try to understand other people's communication types or what their interaction styles are, and that really translates well too.
There's a comment from Maya in our audience, and she's saying, I have this feeling that women often set too high expectations of themselves, not being aware that it holds them down. And then she's actually asking a question to follow this comment. How can I help women around me and myself get feedback, right? Include myself in that feedback loop, have other women included in that feedback loop so that they are more often recognized for their values and their qualities.
Women tend to need more validation more often. We can be more supportive of other women in the workplace and saying if someone took on a task that was really difficult and delivered well, we should let them know, like, hey, I just want to say so-and-so did a really great job with that difficult task, making sure we acknowledge each other and build each other up.
There's a huge lack of appropriate feedback in a lot of places, and women are often given almost exclusively negative feedback. We generally know or hear about it when we've made a mistake. We often don't hear about it when we've done well and have grown and showed our mettle. We just expect that no one's going to say something about that. No one's going to notice. And we expect high performance of ourselves. But if we ask for feedback in a way that said, what did you notice that I did well that I should continue doing? What did you notice that I probably need to continue to work on? We can get real valuable feedback.
Now we're going to just jump right in because we have another question. And this one is from Amanda. She's using hashtag VBB Radio, and she's asking, I'm aware that changing myself will change my surroundings. But to make the change easier, what do I do to gain the support of my peers and family?
To me, the most important thing is just to ask for it. I went back to graduate school while I was working full-time. My team asked me, what can we do to support you? They were on board. They were terrific. They asked what they could do. I told them what they could do to help, and they did. It was very significant for me to have the help from them. When I was done, they got a lot of credit as well. And my family did too. We had a meeting about what we were going to do to make it through. And so I think it's important to ask for the help you need.
That whole thing, when you tell someone about a goal that you have, they hold you accountable to it. So in addition to being able to support you, they can make sure you're on track. And also when you're voicing what your wants and desires are in life, then other people can align with that too.
When somebody looks like they have it all, or they have it all together, and they're still asking for help, I want to know from each of you, what does success look like to you?
For myself, I have my checklist, my benchmark. I wanted to finish school. One of the benchmarks will be is my daughter, a successful adult someday. Just feeling like I'm getting the value out of my time and not wasting my potential, I guess you could say. I've shifted, I have long-term goals and short-term goals, and as long as I'm meeting my goals and being flexible where I need to be, I think success is a moving target.
In my working years, I counted it to be hugely successful if I was earning a living that was supporting the family and not dying from overwork. And I had retirement targets, things I wanted to do in the future, and wanted to survive, earn a living that enabled me to have the freedom I anticipated. From this position, having completed those benchmarks, it's important to me to have made an impact on the lives of others in a beneficial way, and to be able to live with safety and security, but also to give back and to be able to help lift others, partly in recognition of the fact that there were many people along the way that helped and supported me, and I want to pay that forward.
We have another question, and this is Philip's question, and I think this is incredibly powerful. This is really important because one of the reasons that the Colorado Women's Education Foundation exists is to support other women. Jess, do your guests think that things will continue to get better for women in the workforce? If so, how long before there's true parity with men?
I do think things will continue to get better because awareness cannot help but change. I also think the progress has not been steady. There's been ups and downs. And I heard a prediction that if we continue on the trajectory that we're on, it would be 100 years before parity is achieved. So that's distressing. One of the ways women can combat that is to achieve additional degrees. I just found something on the internet. It's called a wage gap report. Apparently, women need one more degree than men to earn the same salary. That's not great news, but it certainly reinforces the value of what Colorado Women's Education Foundation is doing, and that is to support women in getting their degrees, whatever degree they're going for. As women continue to educate themselves and as the world becomes more aware, that discrepancy, that wage gap will narrow.
What makes it bold to embrace the power of education today?
When I started school, I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. And at some point, I took a programming class and was like, this is what I need to do. It was challenging, exciting. I loved it, and I kind of ran with that. But some of the things that I also got out of school, I took on leadership positions. I challenged some of my teachers that wanted us to write a paper on this or that and said, hey, you know what? I'm actually really interested in this instead. And even though I was following the path of my schooling, but I was also had an end goal in mind of how this is going to impact my future and how can I leverage this research opportunity for something that I'm interested in the future. The leadership skills and the opportunities that I got in school really translated into, I started my own business, and a lot of the research and the knowledge that I got from my schooling and the additional assignments that I did or the different paths that I took, and that there's not just the education piece, it's all the other little outcomes, figuring out who you are, what you want to do, and where you want to go, what some of your goals are, some of those unspoken things that were equally important.
It's bold to embrace the power of education because it's truly a great way to change the world. When the individual changes and improves themselves, they also change and improve the lives and the world around them. So it's incredibly bold to embrace the power of education and change the world.
You heard it here, ladies, gentlemen. We can make a difference. You're going to find the program notes for The Power of Education at voiceofboldbusinessradio.com/P for program 170. You may also search the site for The Power of Education. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Karen. And thank you, audience. Everybody who's listening, think about somebody who would benefit from having this information in their hands right now. It's the conversation that we're having today that determines what a leader is and what effective leaders look like, sound like, and act like. Remember the power of education.
Subscribe at thevoiceofboldbusiness.com and get more information, program notes, and past episodes. Bold leaders approach each situation and focus on action to achieve a higher level of leadership. Jessica Duell, your business advocate, is the host of the Voice of Bold Business Radio. Thank you for joining us.